To start off, I am going to take you through my stretching warm-up exercise. First, I started out with my butterfly. The butterfly stretches your hip flexors. In cheerleading, your hip flexors need to be flexible in order to have good jumps. Next, I moved into my pike position with my toes pointed. This stretches my hamstrings, and with this, it helps prevent any pulling of that muscle. Also, it helps improve pike jumps. Butterfly stretch focuses on toe touches, while this focuses on my pike. Now, I flex my feet and pull them off the ground. By doing so, this stretches my Achilles tendon. This stretch doesn't focus on any jump, but simply helps prevent any injuries with my Achilles. This is the straddle. This stretches hamstrings and other inner thigh muscles specific to each side. I started on my right side. Once more, this helps with preventing any injuries and pulling any muscles. It also helps improve toe touches. It is important to have your toes pointed in this stretch in order to have your toes pointed in your jumps. Once more, reaching to the center stretches any inner thigh muscles equally on both sides. This continues to help prevent any injury of tearing any muscle, and it also helps improve toe touches. This stretch also helps improve your V-sit reach. Next, I moved into my splits. The first thing to do to have a good split is to get into a lunge with one of your legs forward. Pushing your hips forwards helps increase the flexibility with your legs. This helps improve splits, and also with flexibility with every sport helps prevent any injury. I then straighten my front leg and reach forward with my nose towards my knee. This stretch further helps increase my flexibility with my hamstrings. In cheerleading, it is very important to have very flexible hamstrings with toe touches and heel stretches. Stretching your hamstring also increases flexibility, and flexibility is vital in all athletic sports. I then slide down into my split completely. Clearly, I am not the most flexible individual, although I do this stretch very frequently. Doing this stretch helps improve flexibility with your legs completely. It stretches your leg muscles all the way as much as possible. Furthermore, being flexible has a lot of health benefits whenever I become older. I then slide out of this side and move to my other leg. I repeat the same exact stretch that I did on my other leg on this side. I then move on into my frog stretch. I needed more room for this stretch, so I changed position where I was doing it within the room. Like the butterfly, this helps stretch my hip flexors. This also helps prepare me for my middle split. The middle split is a great stretch in improving flexibility. It prevents injuries, and it also helps with improving jumps. Here is a better view on how that middle split actually is seen as. The stretches I perform at tumbling are also performed at cheer practice itself. Stretching in both aspects of my sport is very vital. This stretch is simply just reaching for my toes on both sides of my body. This once more helps increase flexibility with my hamstring and my inner thigh muscles to prevent any injury and to improve my flexibility, obviously. We do it on both sides, left and right and middle. I am starting to sound like a broken record, but now putting our feet together also helps stretch our hamstring. This really pulls and extends our back muscles within our legs. We then sit down into our butterflies that I have already talked about previously. We then opened up into our straddles. Moving on into our splits. Now middle. By our coach, we were then told to stretch anything else that we felt needed to be stretched and to roll out our wrists and ankles. The back bend is a great stretch to really extend your back muscles. Doing this helps prevent any injury and tearing of the muscle within your back. Here I am rolling out my wrists and ankles to once more prevent any injury within them. After stretching at each practice, we move on into doing our jumps. In the beginning of each practice, we do 10 toe touches, 10 pikes, and 10 hurdlers. Sometimes we don't do pikes because they're less frequently of a jump used. The first jump that you will be seeing is a toe touch. For our warm-up here as a squad, we do all our 10. As you can see, my jumps are not the best. My knees are bent, but my toes are pointed. I need to get more height and I need to really extend my knees. I can improve on this by really focusing on the stretches that I've discussed about earlier, such as my splits and my straddles. Although I do my splits and my straddles each and every time I do my sport, I just lack in the flexibility portion for my jumps. Girl seen to the right of me always tends to win jump-offs at competitions. As you can see, her legs are very flexible and her hip flexors are like a V. Her toes are pointed and her legs are straight. We then moved on into our pike jumps. You can do a pike on your right side or your left side. We typically do ours to the right. Pike jumps are done to your diagonal. That's when you make a right angle with your feet and meet them into the center. The pike jump position is similar to the pike stretch. That's why you do the pike stretch. You want your legs to come up to your chest and your toes need to be pointed. Your arms are in straight lines from your temple. Like the pike jump, the hurdler is also to your diagonal. You can also do the hurdler on your right or left side. We typically do ours on the right. For the position of the hurdler, you want your one leg to be extended out with your toe pointed, and your other leg needs to be bent, almost hitting your butt, also with your toe pointed. Each practice, we typically do 30 jumps total. Sometimes we split our pike jumps on each side and also our hurdlers. So for example, we would do 5 on the right and 5 on the left for both of those jumps. Stunting is another huge aspect in cheerleading. With stunting, there is a flyer who is the top girl, 2 bases who are lifting the top girl up, and a back spot. The back spot's job is to help further elevate the girl and make the job easier for the bases. Everyone must be strong, tight, using their legs, their core, and their technique. One stunt that is used very frequently in cheerleading is an extension. An extension is when the flyer is all the way up with the base's arms straight. To do a very good one, you have to really squat, use your legs, use power, and shoot the flyer straight up. For the dismount, we popped off our flyer. There are many variations of the extension within cheerleading. They can have inversions, which is seen here, and they can also have full-ups. Within an inversion, the flyer's feet are straight. The bases, once more above, use their legs, really extend, jump up, and catch them up in an extension with our arms straight and the flyer's chest straight up. A full-up stunt, also used in cheerleading, that is a little more difficult, is when the second base, which is the girl on the right, throws the girl straight up. The main base, who's the base on the left, twists her hands up and around, and the flyer is caught in this top extension. For stunting, there are a ton of ways in starting a stunt. Here is our roll-in for our stunt sequence. There are also a ton of ways in dismounting from a stunt. Here is our twist back walkover out. Moving on into libs, this stunt is very similar to an extension, although the flyer is on one foot. You can have the flyer on either its left or right foot, but we typically have them go on their right. Also, the second base's grip also changes with the flyer's foot. As you can see, me, the one on the right, has a hand on the wrist and the foot. The flyer's position can also change while in the air. Here, some of the flyers have heel stretches. This is why heels being flexible is very important in cheerleading, so they are able to do heel stretches as such. Our flyer then fold out of the stunt, which is another dismount that we use quite frequently. Here, our flyer shoots up on her left leg, and then the bases dip with their legs, and then the flyer switches onto her right leg. This is called a high-to-high tick-tock. A very similar stunt is the low-to-high tick-tock, and here it's the same, although the bases bend their arms as long as with using their legs. Here, I am in the middle stunt group with the flyer hitting a lib and switching to a heel stretch. Stunting is clearly not easy, and when not using the proper technique, stunts can fall. Moving on into a stunt sequence. A stunt sequence is a connection of various amounts of stunting. For example, we have our roll-in that transfers over into our inversion to the top. Once we hit our inversion to the top, we then dismount out with our back walkover twist. Again, stunting isn't easy, and if done with the improper technique, stunts will not be able to hit. Moving on into one-man, stunts can be done with one base and one base only. Here I am doing an extension with my flyer Gianna, then we bump down to a prep, then we have an assist that shoots it up to a lib with both bases. Gianna forgot to switch her weight over, so let's try that again. Also, with one man's, back spots are still required. One man's are a 3-person stunt rather than 4. Here, Gianna switches her weight over very quickly and is very sharp with hitting the lip. One man's can also be done on the one leg lip. You can also dismount out of a one-man rather than just bumping down. Here, rewind. Moving on into pyramids. Pyramids are stunts that are connected. The flyers are typically connected somehow in some way to help with the stunt. I am the base in the center doing the one-man hand-in-hand. Here, I am holding my flyer's hands and I'm shooting her up to the top with the help of the other flyers. Essentially, the flyers become bases, and this is what makes the stunt a pyramid. The front groups do hands full arounds, relying on the flyer in the back to help out, making it a pyramid. Here, the 2 back groups also display another dismount, a cartwheel out. I am the base on the right, one manning, a hand-in-hand. Pyramids can also be braced with only one person, not just 2. Here, a pyramid is shown with 2 braces. I am the second base on the right in the center. We dip and we shoot it up to the top in a lip. This is also another hand-in-hand. Here, the flyers connect hands and they help elevate them all the way to the top in a lip. They then go out into paper dolls, making it a pyramid. Here is another pyramid that is called the side summy. Clearly, the flyers wouldn't be able to accomplish this without the back flyers helping them up. Then we lift over and they fly to their arabesque position. It's another example of a position in a lip. Moving on into the last aspect of cheerleading, tumbling. Here I am doing cartwheels, warming up my body before doing more difficult skills. Here I am doing my handstand, squeezing my entire core. Handstand pops also help with my handspring. Here's my front walkover. Here's my front walkover once more. This is my back walkover. Here is my singular handspring. With a rebound at the end. Here is my multiple back handsprings, trying to really stretch them out with a good rebound at the end. Here is my round off. Here is my round off back handspring with the rebound. Here is my round off double handspring, rebound, and here's my double handspring again. Oh, that was a single, my apologies. Here's my double again. Rebound. Here's my round off tuck, and my round off tuck again. My round off tuck again. Here's my round off handspring tuck, and my round off handspring tuck again. Here's my round off handspring layout. Here's my standing tuck. My standing tuck again. Here's my cartwheel handspring. And my cartwheel tuck. Here is our full routine at practice, accepting all of the aspects of cheer: our stunting, our tumbling, our jumps, and our cheerleading.
Let's go, Four! Make some noise!